Welcome to this video on creating programs in TOTORELEARN. Programs pull together a series of courses and can be assigned to learners based on their position, audience or manager. Programs can be added through the course option in the site administration menu or via the programs page under Find Learning. This page shows me the programs on my site, and I can also choose to create a program. You'll use the various tabs on this page to set up your program. I'll start by assigning my program to a category. Just like courses, programs can be added to categories which act like folders on your network, keeping together similar programs. You can use the same categories for courses and programs, or set up specific ones for your programs. Even once your program is in a category, you can still add courses to it from any category on your site. You must also give your program a name and a short name, which must be unique. I can limit my program so it's only available for a certain period of time. My program is an onboarding program for new starters, so I'm happy for it to stay open as new people are recruited. I can enter a summary which will appear in the program search. I might also enter an endnote which appears at the end of a program. I often use this to signpost to a next course or encourage learners to take next steps. Visibility settings decide which sets of users can see this program. It doesn't enroll them, it just determines who can see the program in the Find Programs catalogue. If you don't want the program to appear immediately, select No Users, but remember to come back and change this when you want to make the program live. I can also change the icon that appears for this program in the program list. And finally, on this tab, you can decide whether learners can be allowed to make extension requests to their manager. This applies to time-limited programs where there is a due date. I'll save my changes, and now it's time to add my content. There are 3 types of content you can add to a program: courses, competencies, or recurring courses. If you add a competency, it must have at least one linked course, which will be added to the program. I'm going to add a set of courses. I'm taken to this view where I can browse the courses on my site to choose the ones to add to my program. You can also search if you prefer. I'll select 3 courses for my set. Now I need to decide how my set is going to behave. I'll give it a title. And now I need to decide how many of the courses the learner must complete. In this case, all of my courses are important, so I'll leave this set to All Courses. You also need to indicate how long you expect the learner to take to complete these courses. For example, I might know that the induction course includes a face-to-face with the CEO, which is run every month, so I might allow 1 month. This doesn't mean the learner must complete it within this time, but is used later when we look at reasonable completion time limits for the whole program. I could now save changes and have a program with a single set, but I also want to add my course to include some health and safety training, so I'll add a second set, and just like before, I'll choose my courses and add them to my set. Of course, I could also add courses via their associated competencies if I wanted to. As with the first set, I'll give it a name, and this time I'll say they only need to complete 1 course, and that this will take them 5 days because these courses are all online. It's worth noting here that the sum of all minimum times indicates the shortest time period in which a learner can complete the program. So, if I had a single set program with a minimum time of 5 days, a learner could not complete the course and be marked as complete in the program until 5 days after their initial enrollment. The final thing I need to do is decide how my sets relate to each other. In this case, it doesn't matter to me which order they do the courses in, so I'll choose AND, meaning learners have to complete both sets but can do so in any order. That's my sets complete, so I'll save my changes. You'll get a warning here to tell you if any learners are affected by the changes you've made. Because this is a new program and no one is yet enrolled in it, I don't need to worry about this. Messages are created in the same way as many system messages in TotaRelearn. Watch the separate video on messages if you want to know more. Before we start assigning learners to our program, I'll quickly show you the Completion tab. This tab is simply a list of the users who have completed this program. Of course, it's currently blank because I haven't yet enrolled anyone in the program. So let's do that now. We've already set the minimum time required, but now we need to decide who will take the program and when. There are several ways you can assign learners to your program: by organisation, position, audience, who their manager is, or simply assigning individual learners. My program is for all new starters to the business, and luckily I have an audience of new starters which all of my new recruits are added to. So I'll choose Audiences, and now I can select from the audiences on my site. You can select as many audiences as you like. The great thing is that, because my audience is dynamic, as new starters join the organisation and the audience, they will be automatically enrolled on my onboarding program. The last thing I need to do is set a due date for this audience, which is the date they must complete the program by. If you added different audiences, organisations, positions or individuals, you could give each of them a different due date. It might be that one of my organisations has people who are on the road and only working part-time, so I'd allow them more time to complete the program. You've got two options for setting a due date. The first is a fixed completion date, where you choose a calendar date and time in the future. But this is only appropriate if everyone in the audience is starting at the same time. For a dynamic audience like mine, where new starters will join regularly, a relative time is more appropriate. You can set a relative due date based on a number of factors, such as the first time the learner logs in, when they were assigned their position or job assignment, or when they were enrolled in the program. I'm going to say that learners must complete my program within 2 months of being enrolled in it. I'll save my changes, which shows me an overview of the number of users who are being enrolled and a last chance to change this or confirm. So that's it. I've created my program, added content to it, and assigned learners. Let's have a look at what this looks like from a learner's perspective. As a learner enrolled on the program, I've got my notification on my dashboard, and I've also received an enrollment email. Enrollment emails are sent by default, although you can change the way that notifications work in your system. The current learning block shows the program, and I can expand it to show the courses that are available to me as part of the program, including how these courses are sequenced and how sets relate to each other. I can then launch each course directly from my dashboard. So that's programs. Why not watch the video on certifications to find out how they're different?